First we have the sign in. Let's sign in as an advisor. This is the advisor's home screen. There are two tabs, contacts and tips. There's a main menu. And there are two icons, one for notices, which lets you know everything that's going on between yourself and your clients or prospects on the system, what they've been learning, comments they've been leaving on your advice, things that they like and dislike. And of course you can refer the app onto any of your friends or existing clients and prospects. So you can swipe through your contacts list, choose online and offline. So if we look at these, you'll notice there are a couple of little icons at the top there. One's what we call about learning. That'll tell you which quizzes and which video content and podcast content they've looked at and whether or not they passed the quiz. Give the name of each of the topics that they've covered. So you've got a fair idea of what they're familiar with and what they understand before you go producing tips and other advice. The other thing the app provides is a gauge on how they feel about financial topics, which is done using some sentiment analysis, which we do in real time on all dialogues between an advisor and their clients. So you can see if they're healthy, unhealthy, unhappy, neutral, and what have you. So they don't just stagger or stumble into a conversation with prospects or clients based on no idea of the context within which you're dealing, how they're feeling about things, and whether or not they're actually competent and have knowledge in particular matters. Down the bottom you'll see a diary, which tells you exactly what they've been doing on the system, whether they've read a tip, passed a quiz, involved with a chat, and exactly when that occurred and what it was about. And that's part of our system. You can do one or two things. You can ignore the Banking or Financial Services Royal Commission in Australia and hope regulation and compliance doesn't get tighter, or you can understand the value of being able to have a client service report that gives you a full auditable detailed track on every single interaction you've had with your client. Probably cheaper than losing your license. So we can swipe through our contacts and find out exactly how they're feeling, what they're learning, what they've been up to. Now the system provides for your clients and prospects the ability to share pretty detailed videos and podcasts and other learning material on a one-to-many basis, which appears on the clients and prospects version of the app. The other thing that you provide are what we call tips. Tips are a form of micro-blogging, if you like, and a sort of a marriage between blog posts and Twitter. Essentially, you can create simple tips and share them with whichever clients and prospects are connected to you on the app. So creating and editing these things is pretty simple, straightforward. It's much longer than a Twitter post. You can include URL links to particular web pages you might want to share simply and quickly. And you'll notice that you can track how many times people have actually looked at that particular tip, whether they've liked it or disliked it. You can post follow-up comments to these tips. And of course, so do your clients and your prospects. So tips are a great way of sending something topical that's been sanitised by head office, legals, and what have you. And it just shows that A, you give a fat rat's ass, B, you know what you're talking about, and C, you actually know what a mobile phone's for, other than parading around with the Apple logo on it and not knowing how to use 90% of it. You might have noticed then we just have a little notice appear on top of the app, letting me know a comment had been left on the tip. So it's very interactive, it's very dynamic, and it's very simple to operate. And of course, you'll be able to see likes and dislikes when we go into the clients and prospect system. And really, that's the power of the application. It's about using content to build a relationship and bridge the trust gap. And when we have a look at our notices, yeah, we can immediately see that that new comment has been left on the tip. You can easily delete them. You can send, when one of your clients or prospects passes a quiz or does something good, you can send them a thumbs up and all the rest of it. And very simple to go to a chat message if there's a message coming in, because the app includes a straightforward instant messaging system. And you can go through and comment. It's easy. You can add files, share files, and you can go through an entire history of all dialogue with your client or prospect, which, as I say, is absolutely essential for generating an auditable client services report. You manage your own profile here. When you sign up to the system, it just captures all your details, which you can edit at any time. Very simple. And yeah, your profile is pretty simple to manage. With the commercial system, you'll have a progress tab, which shows how you're going compared to everybody else in terms of number of connections, and a system generated algorithm, which scores you according to what level of service you provide, how many tips you provide, how well liked they are, how much content you provide on the Learn system, and how you interact with your clients via chat and the tip system. So no guesswork. It's completely dispassionate and impartial, and as accurate as the system can make it. So as I say, chat's pretty simple. You can run into it separately. Go through your history. Interact simply and quickly. All done. Right. Can log out. Now we'll sign in as what we call seekers. They're basically clients and prospects. We use the authorization API from Google, so it's a simple sign in. Now, as a client or prospect, the system currently generates a score, which is a measure of how active they've been with the app compared to everybody else, whether they've been looking at content, passing quizzes, reading and sharing tips, and inviting friends. The system scores them on that to the level of their affirmative behaviour interaction with the app. The commercial system has a gamification layer, which has badges and levels and explanations of each level. So uses little icons for the different levels, so they can see their progress and compare it to similar others. So there is what we call a Learn system here that involves a collection of topics. The greyed out ones show that they've already been read and quizzes passed on each of them. So we can select one of these, and they can be a podcast or they can be a video.
How many of you received
Australian superannuation or Kiwi Saver investment statement and know exactly what the graphs and the data really mean. Where is your money actually being invested and why? This episode. So you can listen to a podcast, answer the quiz questions. Yay, hooray. Get instant feedback. They'll update their scores, which you've seen from your own view of how each of your clients and prospects are progressing. Remember your tips, or we can, as a client or prospect, I can be connected to any number of advisors. I can get rid of them whenever I want as well. The app is trying to invert the power relationship between yourself and your clients and prospects, because if you don't understand why you need to do it, then I'm sure the follow-on compliance and regulation from the Financial Royal Commission will explain it to you a bit more bluntly. So I've got a number of advisors on here. I can look at that. You can see an advisor's been pretty active, 15 views of that particular tip. 3 people have liked it. That's ACC Basics for Employees. Do I need life insurance? You can see the URL links and comments. Again, it's fully interactive. I can like it. I can share it. And so I can send that messages. And so as a client or prospect, I've got the power in my hands to tell you whether your tips are any good, really, whether I've read them, whether I've liked them, and whether I've shared them. So you get a much better idea of exactly how much connectivity your content is generating. And like the advisors, I can also quickly go look at my notices. I know that my advisor's cheering for me. They've sent a thumbs up. When my advisor publishes a new tip, so there's a new tip from Joel, and again, I can interact and share it. Very simple, very dynamic. My own profile. When your users sign up, you can get to see this basic demographic and somewhat psychographic profile. It includes what their financial challenges are, age, working type, and who they're using the app for, whether they're doing it for themselves, them and their partner, their children, their parents, or whoever. Also, as I say, the power's in the hands of the advisor, not of the advisor, sorry, but of the client and prospect. I can select one of these clients, one of these advisors, and I can rate them. And next time I log in, that will update and give me the average rating for that particular advisor. As you can tell, I can just as simply press a button and disconnect from them. I can see their star rating, and in the commercial app, I'll be able to see their badge levels and what their system scores are and how they rate compared to every other advisor. No guesswork, no bias, no propaganda, no PR. It's real people using it and telling you what they think for a change. And that is Alpha Build 0.12 of Doshi.